Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Seed Talk podcast. We are joined with two very successful founders who have started something which I think is going to be a great fit into a emerging market. And we have Cassandra, Toroian, and Tracy Thomas today from Volleybird. As well as co-founders of Ruley, which is an AI referee app. So Volleybird, which is a groundbreaking new athletic lifestyle subscription service built for racket sports as well as golf, it allows people to pair up style as well as product within one cohesive box, and then getting that out to you, whether if that's through their subscription service or just on a one-off if you're looking for as well from a gift as well for people that you're out there. Or if you're an emerging athlete, amateur athlete, and you've seen, hey, I've seen some pickleball out there. I've seen some paddle. Or everybody's been watching PGA Tour and the whole live debate this year, and you're like, I want to try golf out, but how do I really jump into it? What type of equipment? This is what can help you spark and nurture that curiosity and then let you grow into whichever respective game that you have. So we're excited to have you both on today. Thank you for being able to join with us. And we're welcoming you to the Seed Talk family. Welcome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for having us. That was a great overview, by the way.
Thank you.
That was elevator pitch.
That was a good elevator pitch there. I wanted to just kind of start there, actually, just on you two. How it's so hard to build a company, especially within sports. You all are building two. How did you all meet, and how did you decide to kind of take on this endeavor?
Well, we're partners in life, so we met through some friends previously, and we're a couple. And Cassandra is a lifetime tennis player, and I'm a pickleball player. Mm-hmm. So I moved to Delaware to be, that's where Cassandra has been living. And, to get out and meet people, I started playing pickleball here. And I asked her one day to come with me. And we went to one of our local clubs that's indoor. It's a tennis and pickleball club. And I'd been playing pickleball for a little bit, so I had the rules down. I don't know if you play pickleball, but the rules are not always intuitive. Yeah. And
don't step into the kitchen. 1 2 1 2
right.
1 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Right. The scoring is everyone has trouble with the scoring, right? So anyway, she was a great player. That was not a problem. She's a mean backhand slice, so she can play the game. She just was really amazed at how much discourse there was, that other people didn't know the rules, that there was arguing over the rules, whose point it was, and having her tennis background, she just really wasn't accustomed to that. And so as we were leaving, she said, wow, that was fun, but is there always this much arguing? And I said, yeah, unfortunately it can be a little intimidating, know? And she said, well, I'm gonna have to look at the rule book and
print it out.
Right. She's like, I'm gonna print out the rule book and bring it with me next time. I was like, oh, okay. So we came home, we looked up the rule book, and it was 70 pages. And she's like, well, obviously I'm not going to print this out and carry it with me to pickleball, right? And she said, there's got to be some kind of app or something you could pull up on your phone. And, so we went on the app store and we looked, we searched the web. We couldn't find any app, that was really interactive and would answer questions in sort of like a real-time scenario. There was one or two apps out there that just sort of had static, PDF of the rules, but that's still, you're searching for the rule. And so, Cassandra had been working a little bit on a fintech app. So she had a relationship with a full stack developer, and she's like, well, we're going to make our own app. So that was how Ruley came about. So that kind of started this whole, that was when we were just working on a single business.
Right.
Yep.
That was, I had just sold a company. And so it was kind of an opportunity for me to jump into another project, and I knew enough about AI and machine learning that I knew that it was possible to do this. finding the right sort of initial developer to help actually prove it out. Like, oh my God, we put in a random question and it answered it. Was
right.
We were really happy about that. And it was never supposed to be what it is now, which is now morphed into an entire ecosystem for sports rules.
Yeah.
Literally we went from pickleball to, maybe we'll do tennis because I know that one too, and then I had some friends say, well, why don't you do golf? Like golf rules are ridiculous as well, right?
Everyone 2 strokes is it one?
Yeah. Do I get a drop or do I have to take a penalty? Right. So basically, that's kind of how the whole thing got started was Ruley, pickleball, tennis, paddle, because it's such a new sport in the US. And then the golf, right? And so then it was like, well, what if this doesn't work? Maybe if we had an e-commerce store. And Tracy really felt like, because pickleball people are so fanatical about the sport, it's like it becomes their life. Like everything in their life has a pickleball on it, right? Like, or says I love pickleball for a lot. Like their towels, their iPhone case, it's not just about on-court stuff. It's like everything. So I was like, all right, I could see that. But if we're going to do this box for pickleball, then maybe we should do it for tennis and golf and paddle too. Right. And paddle's so new here in the United States. Like there's not, on the one hand, there's a small paddle community, maybe 200,000-ish players right now. Obviously, you can only play where there's a paddle court and there's not that many out there yet.
Right.
But we also saw like the way pickleball grew, that it's likely paddle's going to have a similar kind of growth pattern. I think in some ways a bit better and probably more, let's say, structured. There's a lot of capital pouring into it.
Yeah.
And so
it's going to be in the Olympics.
And it will be in the Olympics. Yeah. So we're like, maybe we should be, having the ability for people to access, like, well, where do I even buy a paddle racket?
Right.
Like,
there's going to be a lot of searches going on, on Google. Whoever coming up to the next Olympics has the best SEO per.
Right, exactly. We're working on it.
Oh yeah, every day.
Working on
every day.
Every day on our paddle, our paddle SEO, because so we've really taken the time on the paddle side to go out and find like unique brands, like not just the big box brands that you can go maybe get at Dick's Sporting Goods or somewhere like that, but more like the brands that are in Europe and the UK that are already established and, have really, there's some beautiful paddle rackets out there. They're super pricey. We've tried to find ones that are in different price categories, but it's got its own style, its own vibe, right? It's not tennis, it's not pickleball. So we're offering bundles out there for people, but same thing on the pickleball side too, is, as many people play, there's still people that are learning, picking it up. They don't want to spend a ton of money. So, we've got all kinds of products there that they can at least start. And then if they like it, okay, buy a box or, or maybe somebody will gift you a box.
Right.
Tennis has been amazing because tennis players, they are really serious about it, right? It cannot have, Tracy tried to think about this very utilitarian, like, okay, this is a great looking Stanley, cup, mug, or whatever you want to call it. But God forbid it actually has some branding on it that has to do with pickleball. Right. And you put it in the tennis player's box.
Yeah. Tennis and pickleball don't mesh.
No.
So can I go back? Because to what Sterling just said, I find it amazing that you two met each other and you still were able to gel and mesh with pickleball and tennis, because it seems like it's really contentious out there. You know, I've seen people complaining like, oh, pickleball, the sound, it reverberates, it's louder than tennis. So with that, but I just wanted to say that's amazing that you guys were able to still mesh and gel and blend from there, because you do see that out there. And with that experience, why do you think there is, I would say, the disdain from either, it seems like it's more one-sided than the other, but kind of limitation to the pickleball growth from the tennis side of, or the tennis crowd?
You know, it's interesting. I think that my observation, having played tennis for close to 50 years now, is, you know, if you play tennis at a very high level, right? Like, you know, I played D1 in college, the whole nine, like, you know, the blood, sweat, and tears and hours of perfection that it took, you know, and winning a match could be hours long, right? I mean, it is a grind. And so, you know, pickleball is just totally, it's a different sport. That's not good. That's not bad. But what fascinates me is, and it's great because people can pick it up so easily that may not have any athletic background. Maybe that, you know, maybe like my mom, my mom's 85, so she's probably not going to play now, but my mom never played a sport in her life. She could have gotten out there, you know, a few years ago and hit it back and forth, right? Like, no doubt. But she also would have realized, like, that's not the same level of hours and, you know, years spent to run it. Right. But there's some folks that don't have that respect for, they're like, oh, pickleball is just so much better. Right. And they, you know, and it's, Tracy's not like that, you know, I mean, she knows it's just different. Right. She never played a racket sport before. She was a runner, busted her knee and found pickleball, and it was something she could do. But there's some people that just, they don't want to, they try and compare them. And they just can't be compared. You know, like sometimes I go out there with her and, you know, my brain is so conditioned to the size of a tennis court. Like, I'll walk out onto a pickleball court sometime and I'll laugh inside. Like, I won't do it out loud because I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I just walked into a an oversized ping pong like I'm on a ping pong table right now. That's how it kind of feels, you know?
Well, as you know those differences, how are you kind of building out the different products for Volleybird? Like, how is that kind of process going?
Well, that has been one of the challenges, right? Because we want to have some level of scale. You know, so some products that can go in all of the boxes, you know, so we can buy in quantity, so we can get better deals, so we can work with, you know, better brands. But each sport, and it's taken us a few months to really, because like I said, I play pickleball, she plays tennis, and we're just learning paddle. You know, and they are all three so different. And then throw golf in there, you know, so
and it's a different
we're learning. Each sport has really its own avatar. You know, we have our own little ideal customer profile for each sport, and it's taken some trial and error. We didn't get it completely right the first time around, but I do have to say we've had some incredibly loyal subscribers who have been with us from day one. They're all in, and you know,
they love getting
they love their boxes. They get the whole subscription box thing, you know, because some people are like, well, why do you need, and we're every other month. We send out every other month. I wouldn't be sitting here today if we did it every month. My head would have exploded. So, they're like, well, why do you need this, every other month? What could you possibly be giving me? And I'm like, okay, first off, it's not about need.
Yeah.
Like this is like when you get a subscription box, like I think you're committing to, I'm going to love some stuff, maybe I'll give to my kid or my neighbor or my doubles partner or,
there's some trial and error in there for the
And everything I want isn't going to be in one box, right? That's sort of the allure of it. That's the fun of it is, ooh, what am I going to get next time? So our people who get it, they love it. They give us feedback. We have been from the beginning. We call them on the phone. We text them, email them. Hey, what did you like about this box? If we see they comment on our social media, we engage with them and say, thanks for your comments. What did you like? They're very open about what they did not like. And we take note of it. And, they speak to us on the phone. And we, like I said, we have a core of some really great subscribers.
I would say
there's some good.
What I was just going to say is, we're really trying to make sure that we're in all 4 sports, not like it's not stuff you can just go buy on Amazon, right? Like we want to add value.
It's a mix.
And, I mean, obviously there's some things that are fairly generic, like
I saw the Pro V1s. I saw the Pro V1s. I was about to hit hammer over here.
Yeah, right. But
so I realized it was 30 degrees outside.
But so like we're about to announce a pretty major exclusive distribution deal that we've come up with that will bring a brand new tennis ball and paddle ball to the United States. That, it's completely, and that's because we've spent hours scouring the world for new and different stuff, other startups, other small businesses, eco-friendly, that kind of stuff. Like that's the whole point. Like, we have the beyond the box category on the site. Like one of the things I went out and looked for was bundles of used golf balls, right? Because like there's an eco-friendliness to that I think is pretty cool.
I love that you guys are eco-friendly using clean products as you guys are continuing to merge and build out. So with your curation, you talked about the different price points and putting inside of the box and putting in different boxes. I like that you guys are kind of going towards you're mixing a blend of the old. It's weird to say now, the old school feet on the street, genuine reaction and feedback to be able to then continue to drive what you're going to be able to curate. What else do you add into that? Because I'll ask him after this question to the UI that you guys have underneath your Ruley app and how intuitive is there. Are you taking that approach in the background with Volleybird as well, with your personal data sets and then pulling from whatever else you guys are looking at to be able to then continue to build out and then have foresight to maybe like, we're going to have a 4th or 5th sport added in as well to the package?
I think she would die if we added in more sports, but
starting here, that's where we'll go now.
Yeah, I mean, I personally am all about data. So as much data as we can get and learn about the users of the boxes, the better off we can be with it, and some people are really receptive to that. Others aren't, but the longer we're at this, the more we can learn. And that helps us sort of do more predictive analytics on, maybe what things to focus on or take off the list, et cetera. And it's built on the Shopify platform, which is adding a lot more AI kind of into that's kind of like their big push right now. So that's kind of cool. But I think as far as, Ruley's just morphed into a totally different animal because, initially, I had this need for myself with the pickleball rules. And so, realized that there were other people out there with the same need, but boy, it's really hard to, I think, go direct to consumer. It really is. Yeah. And the longer we were in learning about what's going on in the world of sports and sportsmanship and problems in youth sports, like the more we realize that the use cases for Ruley really are so vast that we needed to really morph the business model into more B2B. And so our customer base is really brands, like brands for the different sports,
down into
into their communities and help them grow their fan base, their spectator base, educate their players of their sport and their parents, and then obviously on the federations as well, because ultimately the more questions that Ruley gets, the more information you learn about maybe we need to change this rule because like this is coming up a lot, or this kind of dispute is coming up a lot. So maybe there's an issue with how, this is working.
So does that log, is that from a search feature where you're able to see, okay, this was stepping into the kitchen was searched X amount of times. And so, that is a rule that is, maybe has a lot of nuance or gray area, but really doesn't, but people are assuming that it might. Is that how it ends up tracking?
Yeah. I mean, every question obviously that comes through gets, sort of logged and we can see like what the top questions are that are being asked, and over time the more sports that are added in, the more robust it will be. Like we've got a few other sports right now we're training it on. I mean, really it's a matter of building some scale to get out there with let's call it the right sports, I would say brands, and work with them to sort of elevate, I just really think ultimately, and I don't know if it's from COVID, that something changed and there's like not as good sportsmanship anymore.
We lost something from then. Yeah. I don't know what, but something.
I don't know what, but there's something. And to hear little kids say like, I'd rather just like not play this sport anymore than have my parents there and be yelling at my coach or the referee. Like that's so sad.
Yeah. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And but I want to ask, there's a visual aspect as well to what you have with Ruley, correct? Can you kind of describe what that is and then how, I guess, it kind of gives a visual of what the referee is saying and how it interprets that?
Well, we don't do that yet. We're gonna, but for right now, I mean, you can, the apps that we have out there right now are really like, I'll call them MVPs, right? And you can use them. You can, we get a lot of positive feedback on the golf app actually, because people that I know that are, LPGA players.
Hard to say
they are really good at, the rules off the top of their head and they use it and they think it's amazing. So you can talk into it. You can have it on your iWatch. We are working on some things so that ultimately there will be a visual element to it. That definitely is part of the long-term picture. Like I said, it's amazing now that all of this is possible with where we are with technology.
Yeah. I love they said, that they're mainly MVP. So has the feedback that you all have received, um, the ease of use and I would say the more simplistic aspect to the application itself has generated more growth? Because when you see the larger apps of the world, everybody's like, it needs to be more robust, it needs to have
Right.
XYZ features. So you're seeing from your side that the reception has been a little different.
Well, you know what? Because we were just really building them to sort of prove that they worked, right? And that people could rely on them in a real sort of world situation. We didn't add any gamification. There is no sort of
features,
community feed. It's just the bare bones.
Right.
And so, I can't really say. I think if we were going that direction to really like market them direct to consumer, then we would be building out all of those different elements. But because, like I said, we realized this had we would have to have like 1 million apps out there, for all different sports if we went that direction. And that kind of just didn't seem to make sense. So, the feedback we've gotten is universally like, oh my God, I never realized that sports rules were a problem, but they really actually are. The lack of knowledge the average person has about them, right? And so it's like, it's the problem nobody really actually knew existed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with
no,
you.
I think that's a great strategy, because if you're aligning yourself with, brand partnership, and then it then flows from that, that level into their consumer base, they're getting, hey, I'm getting the nuts and bolts, but it's a trusted product because it's being communicated down through whatever, they're underneath it at that. So I think that's honestly, it's a great way to, one, grow the base, and then two, have the simplicity be the key to growth. And I just wanted to say that I think that's a great strategy.
Yeah, I want to. We'll get you all out of here on this. So it's kind of a double-sided question here. I guess first, we're called the Seed Talk podcast because we talk to a lot of early stage founders. So wanted to talk about that or get your thoughts there of like what it's been like to build a company from the ground up, what it's been like to build these two kind of entities here, specifically within sports. And then, I guess just kind of let us know where to find everything that you're doing.
Sure. Well, we're kind of maybe a bit different in the sense that as startups, like I had mentioned, I sold a company a couple of years ago. So we've been self-funding all of this, and really felt like if we were going to go out and ever raise some capital, like we should wait until we felt that it was really an idea that had true legs, that I felt like I didn't want to risk other people's capital. I'd rather risk my own until I knew it was at a point where I could, in good conscience, open it up to other investors. So I think for Ruley, we're at that point now, right? We're going to go out, we're going to raise some funds.
Okay.
I think that's important to kind of bring in different investors that are additive to what we're doing. On the Volleybird side, we've toyed with the idea of maybe doing some sort of crowdfunding. It seems like maybe a Kickstarter or something like that would be kind of a fun way to grow our sort of community, get more feedback from people, and, may create a little bit of funds, but it's more really about sort of opening up the community.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. I mean, great to hear. Like Taylor said, I mean, I love from what you're doing with Ruley, everything from Volleybird. It's a really cool concept, and hopefully we'll be able to use this podcast to get people into your platforms more. So Tracy, Cassandra, thanks so much for being here, and thanks for being a part of the Seed Talk podcast.
Oh, thanks for
Thanks
having
so
us.
much.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there we go.